Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another video of mine, and today we're going to be talking about Rise of the Guardians again. So let's get into it. Now, as many of you probably know by now, I am a huge Rise of the Guardians fan. It's my favorite animated movie of all time, and I've talked about it several times here on the channel, including doing a theory on it. Go check it out. Oh wow, I think I'm coming down with something. Oh wait, no I'm not, because I'm vaccinated.
Let's go!
Now, I'm not going to go too in-depth about the movie's story, but the main thing you need to know is that the main characters of the movie are Jack Frost, Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, the Sandman, and the Boogeyman, and I guess you could also count the Man in the Moon. Also, the movie is based off of a book series called The Guardians of Childhood, written by William Joyce, and he actually also worked on the movie. Now, in multiple interviews, William Joyce has stated that the movie takes place after the books, a few hundred years actually after the team's formation. But the thing is, the movie doesn't seem to reflect that. There are a bunch of differences between the movie and the books. So today, I've made it my mission, actually a while ago I made it my mission, to figure out just how the books connect to this wonderful movie. And the books are pretty great too, I suggest you read them. But of course, there are always going to be people who say, no, the books and the movie are completely different timelines, absolutely have nothing to do with each other other than some of the characters. But that's the key word there. Characters. The main thing that's keeping people from thinking the books and the movie are in the same universe is the characters. Or, better yet, the lack of characters. You remember those characters I listed a while back? Well, those are main characters in the movie. But in the books, the cast was actually a little bit bigger. Three of the most notable characters from the books that do not show up anywhere in the movie or are even mentioned are Umbric Shalazar, who's also known as Father Time, Catherine Shalazar, also known as Mother Goose, and Emily Jane Pitchner, also known as Mother Nature. And just note, these are not minor characters. Catherine and Umbric were main characters ever since the first book, and they've been main characters in every single book that they've been in. And even Mother Nature, who was not in the original two books, definitely made herself known in the third and the fourth book. As well, the books have one of their biggest twists all centered around her. So today, I wanted to find an in-universe reason why these three important characters were not in a movie that spotlighted the books they were in. And honestly, after just a little bit of digging, I think I found a pretty reasonable answer for all three of them. First, let's start with Catherine and Umbric. Where were they during the movie? If you don't know, they're actually really good friends with North, or Santa Claus, as well as developing a special bond with all the other Guardians. Yes, other Guardians. Catherine and Umbric are Guardians, which makes it all the more weird that they're not in this movie. But if you think about it, it actually makes perfect sense why they're not fighting along their Guardian friends. And the key to that question is Pitch Black himself, the Boogeyman. Now, in case you're unfamiliar, Pitch Black is basically the mortal enemy of the Guardians. He stands against everything they stand for, and in the books, he's even worse. He is also the main villain of Rise of the Guardians and the Guardians of Childhood books. Every single one. He is the big bad. But also in the books, Catherine and Umbric live in a place called Santa Clausen. And if that sounds like Santa Claus, yes. Alright, it's a big plot point later, but we're not going to get into that because spoilers. Basically, Santa Clausen is a magic village created by Umbric to protect families of intellectuals while they learn about the world and live peacefully. And when Pitch gets unleashed on Earth, where is the first place that he attacks and spreads his darkness? Santa Clausen, where he also meets Umbric, Catherine, and North for the very first time. In fact, multiple of the Guardians of Childhood battles take place in Santa Clausen, or at least around it. And I think it's pretty safe to say, Pitch really hates that place. So, in Rise of the Guardians, let's see what happens. Pitch basically grows more powerful on Earth than he has ever been before, at least to our knowledge. And where do you think he's gonna go if he wants to destroy something? Santa Clausen. This is the reason why Umbric and Catherine were not in the movie fighting alongside the other Guardians. They were too busy trying to protect Santa Claus. I mean, think about it. If a villain wants to destroy somewhere they absolutely hate, you need to go there to protect it, to stop him from destroying it. It actually makes so much sense why Umbridge and Catherine could not be with the other Guardians, because they were busy saving their hometown from absolute destruction. I actually love this theory so much because it's just so simple, yet it makes so much sense. I also like to think in the background of some scene, North is just telling Umbridge and Catherine to stay in Santa Clausen so that they can protect it. And honestly, I think this theory just basically solves where Umbridge and Catherine were the whole time. Sure, they could have gotten a mention or two, but honestly, I think this explanation pretty much solves where they were during the movie. But now, onto Mother Nature. And oh boy, this gets exciting. Also, spoilers for Guardians of Childhood. Probably should have said that at the beginning, but now we're getting into some really, really big spoilers. So, if you're not into that and you haven't read the books, go read them now. Now, while I could come up with some sort of excuse as to where Mother Nature was the whole time and why she didn't show up in the movie, I don't think that's right. I think she did show up in the movie. We just didn't see her. And if that doesn't make sense, watch this clip. Gotcha. Alright, but seriously though, the other one. Ah yes, a boogeyman being dragged down by his army into the underworld. Totally normal. Alright, now as cool as the scene is, there is one specific detail about this scene I want to point out. Isn't it a bit strange that the ground closed all the way on top of Pitch and his nightmares dragging him down? I mean, sure, they broke the bed and everything, but when they were dragging him down, I don't think they were very concerned about covering their tracks. Not to mention that the nightmares don't seem to have any control over the elements besides, well, dark, and the fact that they don't even have hands to cover their tracks, or even fill in a hole. Now, I know this isn't a lot of evidence, but to me, I think it's enough evidence. Because, why would Mother Nature do this? Well, I have the perfect answer. And careful for spoilers, Mother Nature is the boogeyman's daughter. Now, you don't entirely need to know the gist of their father-daughter relationship to find out why she did this. But there is one point in the movie that could perfectly explain it. Pitch kills Sandy. And Sandy is a friend of Mother Nature's. Basically, Mother Nature and Sandy, all throughout the 4th Guardians of Childhood book, were friends for a very, very long time before they got separated on Earth, and then they met again. Mother Nature even helped Sandy in that book to find Pitch because Sandy was crying, and Mother Nature said, "I can stand anyone's tears but yours," which shows they are really, really good friends. Now imagine your friend getting shot in the back. You would be pretty angry at that person who shot, and you would want to take care of it, if you know what I mean. And I think that's exactly what Mother Nature is doing in this scene. She's taking Pitch away from the world, away from everyone else, so that he can't hurt anyone anymore. I mean, of course, Sandy comes back during the end of the movie, but she's still angry. Angry that he would hurt one of her friends. And while we don't know what is happening to Pitch down in the underworld in his lair, I have a very, very strong suspicion that it will include his daughter, Mother Nature. But what do you guys think? That's a theory for today. I absolutely loved making this. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you have anything to add to this discussion that is useful or not hating on me? Let me know down in the comments. Maybe like and subscribe if you liked. I really love doing these kinds of videos, and I hope I can do more in the future. And until next time, which is probably tomorrow, goodbye!